Hey there, this is John from BEANTOWN BOOTCAMP. In my opinion, squats, lunges, and push-ups are the foundation of any functional fitness program. But often our new members display the most variations in form, and usually the form is improper. I've come up with a couple of tricks to try to correct these issues. Check this out. The first exercise I'm going to demonstrate is a variation of a push-up that I believe was first developed by CrossFit. It's like their hand release push-up. So when I show it to you, we've come up with a variation of that I think corrects a little bit of a problem that I've found with that traditional hand release style push-up. CrossFit style hand release push-up, where you lower yourself all the way down to the ground, you lift your hands up off the ground, and then from there you're pushing all of your dead weight back up to a straight arm top of a push-up position. What I see a lot of people do when they do that exercise is when they lift their hands, they arch their back like this, and from there their belly comes up off the ground and they kind of arch in the back and they push up like that. So they're not going through the full range of motion as if their chin was all the way down to the ground and then they push themselves up. Even if they do it like that, sometimes as they come up they lose that position, that core tightness here. So here's my setup for the what I'm going to call the checkmate push-up. I'm using a counter that usually counts push-ups. You usually come down and hit your chest to that. I'm using that counter so that the members, when they do the push-up, their stomach doesn't hit that. We're going to try to make it so that they don't sway their back low enough that their stomach bumps into that. I'm using a traditional aerobic step, and I'll show you the next step. The counter's underneath my stomach. I'm going to put my hands right on the edge of this step. And that's kind of cool too because it gives the person enough room that their head doesn't hit the ground and you can keep your chin over the step. So that's the cue I use to tell them where to position themselves. Hands on the edge of the step, feet are up on the step. When you come down, your chest is down, lift your hands up, belly's up, not hitting that counter, and I push myself back up into a straight arm position. So when it all comes together, it looks like this. All right, the core is engaged. If you don't have enough upper body strength and enough chest strength, you're not going to do the push-ups with this form. Okay, this next exercise I'm going to show you is our, what we call FU squat, or feet up squat, or it has another meaning as well because you can't really cheat. The one thing about this exercise that it doesn't allow for is the deceleration phase of a squat. You're going to actually come all the way down into almost a sitting position. What I do like about this squat is that it helps to teach members to engage their core, and it also teaches them to maintain weight on their heels and to get their hips back, and also maintain, a 90-degree bend or reach a 90-degree bend at the bottom of the squat. So here's our setup for the FU squat. We use an aerobic step and a plyo step. I believe that step is or box is about 18 inches high, and I use the step just to make sure that we're getting a full 90-degree bend in the knees. I'll show you. All right, so here's how it looks. We're going to have the person sit right back to the bench, lift their feet up at the bottom, and then stand up. So when you rock back, you're engaging your abdominal muscles, and we take it slow. The lift is just slightly, and when you come up, you can add a little plyometric hop into that to make it a little more challenging. You can also do this with weight. So you can add a couple of kettlebells or dumbbells, okay? And that rock back now becomes a whole different exercise. You get a lot more weight on your arms and upper body, which is really going to ground the legs down and really engage the core. Feet up, push through the heels. For our FU lunge, or feet up lunge, this is a real tricky exercise. A couple of things. If somebody has some knee issues, you've got to make sure there's a lot of padding underneath that knee, because it's going to come to the ground like this, and they're going to bear weight through that leg. The other thing is that when they come up, a lot of times people will kind of knock their knee in this direction, and that's really bad positioning for a lunge. So let's just show you what it looks like. It involves a lot of balance, which can get tricky as well. We would stand in front of this mat and step back. When the knee hits the ground, you're going to just lift that front foot slightly, which becomes a real issue with balance. But the reason we kind of like that is that that's going to help to engage those abdominal muscles in that core. So as they start to come back up from a dead weight position, the core is already engaged. And swinging the knee up just kind of makes the form a little more natural. So when that comes together, it looks like this. Rock back, engage the core, drive the weight through the heel of that front foot. So something as simple as lifting that foot up makes a world of difference for just teaching people how to traditionally do lunges. Because a lot of times, even in this position, if the core is not stable, they're going to have a real hard time getting up from a dead weight position like that. And it really teaches the whole mechanics of really driving the weight through the heel of that front foot. It also teaches good mechanics with getting the knee slightly behind the hip on the lunge. So everything kind of aligns naturally, the core is engaged, and it's simple. We love it. FU lunges. The real difficult part on a traditional lunge, whether you're stepping backwards or stepping forward in the lunge, is the stabilization from the bottom up. That's where the real difficulty comes, with stabilizing the core, stabilizing the leg in the right place, and driving that weight through the heel. So this form with the foot lifting up sort of teaches that naturally. It almost forces the person to have to do all of that stuff without thinking too much about it. The other thing you can do is add some weight to this when somebody gets more comfortable with the exercise. You really want to make sure, though, when the weight's added, before you add the weight, that client is real comfortable with the form, just doing it with their own body weight before you even would attempt to add weight into that exercise. So there you have it. Those are 3 tricks when teaching members or clients proper form with push-ups, squats, and lunges. I really think those 3 easy, simple tricks can help revolutionize the way trainers teach their clients how to do these exercises with proper form. So thanks for watching. Check us out at BEANTOWNBOOTCAMP.com. Have a great day.